Michigan historic marker of Malcolm X SHABAZZ Little, Malcolm Little, 1925 to 1965, arrived at this house located in Inkster, Michigan on August 8, 1952. Malcolm X joined the NOI, Nation of Islam soon after, taking the name Malcolm X. He became the assistant minister at Detroit's Temple No. 1 in mid-1953. He was later sent to the East Coast to aid in recruiting and founding temples. In 1958, he proposed to Betty Dean Sanders from a Detroit, Michigan phone booth. They wed a few days later in Lansing, Michigan. In December 1963, Malcolm gave his message to the grassroots speech at King Solomon Baptist Church in Detroit, Michigan. After Malcolm X left the NOI, Nation of Islam in March 1964, he started two new organizations. In April 1964, Malcolm X performed the Hajj, the holy pilgrimage to Mecca, and he became known as El Hajj Malik El Shabazz. At Ford Auditorium on February 14, 1965, he exclaimed, "I'm from Detroit. I used to live out here in Inkster." Malcolm X was assassinated a week later.
When somebody stands up and talks like I just did, they say, well, he's advocating violence. Isn't that what they say? Every time you pick up your newspaper, you hear where one of these things has written into it that I'm advocating violence. And I have never advocated any violence. I've only said that black people who are the victims of organized violence perpetrated upon us by the Klan, the Citizens Council, and many other forms, we should defend ourselves. And when I say that we should defend ourselves against the violence of others, they use their press skillfully to make the world think that I'm calling on violence, period. And I wouldn't call on anybody to be violent without a cause. But I think the black man in this country, above and beyond people all over the world, will be more justified when he stands up and starts to protect himself, no matter how many necks he has to break and heads he has to crack. So today our people are disillusioned. They've become disenchanted. They've become dissatisfied. And in their frustrations they want action. You'll see this young black man, this new generation, asking for the ballot or the vote. That old Uncle Tom action is outdated. The young generation don't want to hear anything about the odds are against us. What do we care about odds? The whites were colonized. They were fed up with this taxation without representation. So some of them stood up and said, liberty or death. Though I went to a white school over here in Mason, Michigan. The white man made the mistake of letting me read his history books. He made the mistake of teaching me that Patrick Henry was a patriot. The entire British Empire. And in those days they used to say that the British Empire was so vast and so powerful when the sun would never set on it. This is how big it was. Yet these 13 little scrawny states, tired of taxation without representation, tired of being exploited and oppressed and degraded, told that big British Empire, liberty or death. And here you have 22 million Afro-Americans, black people today, catching more hell than Patrick Henry ever saw. They're going to draft these young black men and send them over to Korea or South Vietnam to face 800 million Chinese. If you're not afraid of those odds, you shouldn't be afraid of these odds. If you go to jail, so what? If you're black, you were born in jail. If you black, you were born in jail, in the North as well as the South. Stop talking about the South. Long as you south of the Canadian border, you're South.
I had the name on my passport, Malik X SHABAZZ, I only used it in the Muslim world. Well, Hajj is a title that is given to any Muslim who makes the pilgrimage to Mecca during the official Hajj season. I'll probably continue to use Malcolm X because, and I'll probably use it as long as the situation that produced it exists.
You don't feel that Shabazz takes the place of X?
My going to Mecca and going into the Muslim world, into the African world, and being recognized and accepted as a Muslim and as a brother may solve the problem for me personally. But I personally feel that my personal problem is never solved as long as the problem is not solved for all of our people in this country. So I remain Malcolm X as long as there is a need to protest and struggle and fight against the injustices that our people are involved in this country.